I just watched I Saw the TV Glow, which is A24's most recent film, which is in theaters now. And I'm not going to get into spoilers. If I do, I'm going to save it for the very end. So I'm going to try to do that with most of my reviews. I don't want to make separate videos. I want to just majority first half just talk about the movie, no spoilers, and then, like, unless it's like a really deep dive breakdown, I will make a separate video. But most of the time I think I'm going to keep the spoilers at the very, very end if I do talk about them. And I will give fair warning. Promise. So I saw the TV Glow. It is written and directed by Jane Schoenbrunn, who is a non-binary filmmaker, which I love. They were an assistant to the Safdie brothers, who did Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, which I enjoyed, and Lakeith Stanfield was in that too. I watched this movie and knew nothing about it going in. I didn't even watch a trailer. I saw the poster. I knew that Justice Smith was in it, who I was familiar with from... I had originally seen him in Paper Towns, that movie. And then he was in the newer Jurassic World movies with Chris Pratt, and he was in the Detective Pikachu movie, Dungeons and Dragons, which I actually liked, and the American Society of Magical Negroes most recently. But other than that, I didn't know nada about this movie. I knew there was some interest, especially since it was A24, and the poster seemed intriguing, and obviously the title. And so, hold on, my cat wants to leave. Jeez. She couldn't stand it. So yeah, I went in not knowing a gosh darn thing about this movie, and I immediately fell in love with it. I felt the romanticism of the TV and our protagonist, Owen, who was played by Ian Foreman, who I thought did a fantastic job. Now again, if you want to go in like me and not know anything, then don't watch this review. But if you're willing to hear a little bit, I'm sure the trailer shows a lot, and just knowing trailers these days, I should probably watch the trailer, but you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to try to lightly talk about this movie. Basically, my biggest problem with the movie is that there's a younger version of our protagonist and an older version. The older version is played by Justice Smith, who was in the Jurassic World movies and stuff. But there's a newer actor, a younger actor, Ian Foreman, who introduces us to this character, Owen, and kind of leads us into this story. And this has happened before with some films. I'm kind of blanking on titles, but this isn't the first time this has happened, but you fall in love with the first actor who plays the character that you're following, especially the protagonist. Weird example, the Ant-Man series. I love the younger actress who played Cassie, and even though I love Catherine Hahn, like I love Justice Smith, it didn't click for me right away. Now maybe if we have more time in the future with Catherine Hahn, not Catherine Hahn. Dude, what is her name? Not Catherine Hahn. I'm so sorry. Catherine Newton. Catherine Newton, who played Cassie. You know, I like her a lot as an actor, but her playing Cassie in the Ant-Man series just threw me off. Weird example. There's a lot of better examples out there. I think you guys just know what I'm talking about, where in a movie where it opens with a younger actor and that younger actor gets a lot of screen time. I think one of the Dev Patel movies, either Lion or Slumdog Millionaire, did this, where again I love Dev Patel, but you just get introduced to this character, and it wasn't like the most perfect casting either. It just threw me off a bit. It took me out of it a little bit when they changed timelines, they changed actors. Now, by the end of it, the story took over, and I wasn't thinking about that too much. But that was kind of like the only problem I really remember running into. The second issue, but wasn't really an issue. It was just kind of a surprise that took me off guard. And again, if you want to go in knowing nothing about this movie, then stop watching. But again, this is not a spoiler. I'm sure the trailer shows a lot more. Even the synopsis kind of teases this a little bit. It does take a dark turn, and it goes from a very, I don't want to say lighthearted, but a kind of romantic feeling of something nostalgic and cinema, the TV, and fiction and storytelling and escaping from reality. It romanticizes that, and somebody who's into film and movies, I completely relate to that. And one of my favorite things that it pays homage to is all these old TV shows. Some of the things that it was inspired by, the first thing I noticed was Buffy, just because the Pink Opaque, the fictional TV show in the movie, uses the same font as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I've just been I've been rewatching Buffy recently, so that was one of the first things I noticed, and then later I looked it up, and the show is inspired by Buffy, The Secret World of Mac, Are You Afraid of the Dark, The Adventures of Pete and Pete, who are in it, and a lot of cool old throwbacks to like the 90s and 80s a little bit, and early 2000s. But again, going back to the dark turn, it's, even though it was inspired by shows like Buffy and stuff. Now, I'm not as familiar with the other shows that it's inspired by, but it definitely got darker than Buffy gets. And just as somebody who had not seen a trailer and knew nothing going forward, it tripped me up a little bit. It scared me. and I was watching it kind of late at night too, and just was not prepared. You know, I was getting too caught up in the romanticism of old 90s television and this mystery and this kind of curiosity of being an outcast and finding somebody that you can relate to over a piece of pop culture. You know, something that you nerd out about, and more specifically, something that makes you an outcast, and that's something you like. But when you find somebody who likes that as well, then you found somebody you can connect with. And that was the beauty of what drew me into this film. Absolutely. And again, I'm sure this is in the trailer, and I don't think I really need to dive into any spoilers. I was overall really, really pleased with this film. It was a nice surprise. Later I found out that Emma Stone produced it, which kind of makes sense with the types of projects that she's been doing lately. The one with Nathan Fielder and Poor Things, and the one with the next one she's doing with that same director, Yorgos. But all in all, this totally checked all the boxes for me in terms of hitting all different types of genres that I love. The diversity was there, the representation, not just for people of color, but for people of the LGBT community. It was, and yet it didn't hang on that too much. It really kept to itself and its story, and I was very impressed. So it's definitely a good watch. But since you've gotten this far in this review, just you know, I feel like you've probably seen the trailer, unlike I have. So I feel like you know what's coming to some degree. But yeah, it's a cool movie, even for people who aren't normally into maybe thrillers or mysteries. It's feels above average for those films. So definitely a great watch. I highly recommend. You know, if you're into mysteries, it's very Twin Peaks. It's very it's like a mix of mid-90s and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, it's in theaters right now, so if you have a chance to check it out, if you like A24 movies, if you like Justice Smith, if you're into any of the things I just referenced, you know, it's a good, it's fun late night movie. You know, it even premiered at the midnight Sundance Film Festival with their little midnight section, which makes sense. And it also premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival. It's very down that alley. So yeah, highly recommend. If you guys already saw it, let me know what you guys thought. Curious to hear what you think. I hope more people see it, because I know it's kind of like the indie movie of the week. So give it a chance, give it a shot, and hope you guys check it out and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.